In this video we got another episode of Learning PvP, where I'm basically just going to be showing you guys different techniques that you can use. You can take them away and actually apply them in PvP. And in this video here we've got something that's pretty useful. It's the main ability, special skill, either of them works, frame skips or time skips, whatever you want to call them, and it basically lets you see what's going to happen half a millisecond afterwards, because the frames work in a certain way. It's a game, it's not the smoothest thing. It's something you can take advantage of. Now, before I get into this video, if I was to scale this move in terms of how difficult it was or how difficult it is to do, I would put it on a scale in terms of how we work in Legends. So in Legends we have Scream difficulty, hard, and then normal. I would say this one is pretty hard, but it can be easy, but I'll put it at hard because it does require good timing. Now, before I get into this video, I've got two things to say. One, press subscribe button, because I'm doing this for the community. I feel like this is something very essential. Other people have done this too, but I feel like doing a whole series on different PvP techniques is actually very helpful for those who don't actually get far in PvP, because there are some pretty good players in the PvP community, so doing a series like this is really bound to help people. So make sure you press the subscribe button to support me. Secondly, before I continue with the video, what I do is I play what I'm trying to show you at normal speed, and then I'll play it again slowed down so you can see what I'm doing and what's happening on the screen, with my fingers obviously on the right and then the gameplay in the middle. So that's what I'm going to show you right now, then I'm going to do some speaking on it.
Very angry! No more holding back!
So now you guys have seen it. Here I'm just going to give you the instructions on how to pull this off. So it's usually after like a vanish step. You know you're in that position, you're waiting for the opponent to vanish step, or the opponent's trying to like wait as long as possible for them to kind of time your attack. So in that scenario, what you can do is, usually people hover their finger over the screen. You literally just press the main ability in maybe a half second after when someone's about to actually vanish step or attack in that scenario. So you saw on the screen there, in my scenario, I had already used the vanish step in one of them, so I was waiting for the opponent to actually use a vanish step so I could use a card. But when I use my main ability, it triggers the frame skip, and you can see the actual opponent in that scenario was Vegeta. They kind of like stood up straight so that you could see that the animation's about to change, they're about to pull off something new. And then in that scenario, I know, alright, cool, I can attack straight away because they're already mid sidestep, because the vanish step didn't go through. You can see in the clip where I have Shallot, when I use my main ability, you can also use it in scenarios where you can get off a special move from long distance. It's not always close range where you have to use it, and there's also some scenarios where you just know what's going to come straight away, in terms of seeing the exclamation mark. Almost messed up that word, but yeah, you might see that sign, you know, the line and the dot, exclamation mark. I always mess up that pronunciation. I hate that word. But if you see that, you'll also know how to react. Last thing I want to say is that this also works with special skills, hence the title. Not all special skills. Some special skills literally just give your player or your character on the screen at that moment a buff. Like, for example, Super Saiyan 2, Gohan, or Shala even, their special skills is literally just a power up on the spot. But then here, for example, Legendary Finish Goku, Namek Goku, his one would actually come and grab you by the legs and swing you. So in that scenario, it wouldn't be useful to use that type of special skill. So it's literally just knowing what you have on you, just in your arsenal. Now, I'm going to get into some disadvantages and advantages, or negatives and positives. I'm going to start with the negatives. So one negative could be that your opponent might genuinely just act not how you think they would. They might move faster than you think, or they might move later than you think. They could also predict that you're going to do something like this. So it's not a guarantee. I need to put it out there that it's not a guarantee that you'll actually see the next frame, or they'll even move at all. So you just have to use it smart and be aware that the opponent might be one step ahead. Secondly, just like any card in the game, if you use a special skill, it requires ki, and there's no point of actually doing this with ki if you don't have a lot of ki in the first place, because you won't even be able to get an attack off. You'll see what's going to happen next, but what are you going to do after that if you can't do anything in terms of attacking? You might be in a predicament where you already lost your vanish step, so you're just using it like I'm using it here. But if I didn't have any ki or any cards, then it would have just gone to waste. One final disadvantage would be that you're actually using one of your abilities in the game, which might be useful later in the game. For example, I've used sometimes Majin Buu on my regeneration team. His main ability actually brings health to all of my teammates. But if I use it in a predicament early on in the game for this frame skip, then I won't be able to regen later on. So I got the combo off for that moment, but later on in the game I won't have access to that main ability. So it's just depending on how you want to use it and when you want to use it. Now we're going into the positives. I'm going to list out a few positives here. The first one, obviously, you basically get to see into the future. Because of a frame skip that really shouldn't have happened, you get to see what's going to come next ahead of when it should have happened, and then you get to plan in accordance to what happened, obviously. So in this case, I got my Blast Arts card off, and then the combo continues. As well as this, depending on when you use it, you use your main ability or special skill in the most efficient manner, because if I'm using it where I can actually see ahead of time as well as gaining the benefits of that main ability, it's a win-win. Not just a win for using the main ability, not just a win for seeing in the future, you get them both in one. That's all I've had to say for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the tutorial. If you haven't already, again, press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 1,500 subscribers. You're going to want to be here because we're going straight up. I'm not too fussed about likes, but definitely leave a comment because I reply to all comments. I try to get to all comments, and if I don't get to you straight away, I will eventually, because I just check the comments that I haven't replied to on the YouTube settings. So I will get to your comment if I haven't already. So leave a comment, I will reply. But yeah, again, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. That's all I've got to say for this video. But besides from that, guys, I will see you guys in the next one.